welcome to our new podcast. This is 5 More Minutes.
5 More Minutes.
Yeah, this is a new program of Kicker Radio. And this is Andrew Guan speaking now.
All right, this is Danny Zhang. 5 More Minutes, a podcast about all things skateboarding in China.
In English.
In English, yeah.
In English. Well, I'm so nervous. I'm not a native speaker.
Oh, your English is awesome.
Thanks. Okay, this is, as Danny mentioned, this is 5 More Minutes. This is an English podcast talking about what's going on in China, everything about skateboarding, right?
Yep.
Okay, first of all, you must be very interested. Who are you guys? Who are you?
That's true. And, what are we sitting here? Why are we sitting here? So I think it's fair to give everybody some background on who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the skateboarding game for quite a long time.
Yeah, half of my life.
Yeah. We've been around taking skateboarding seriously since, the early 2000s. I remember for me at least. Mm-hmm. And I want to say we met maybe 2005.
Before we talk about the story long ago. Okay, let me introduce Danny Zhang to all you guys. Danny Zhang now is Vision China team manager. What's your position, title?
It would be, Action Sports Department Manager.
Okay, Action Sports Department Manager. Before that, you used to in charge of a China national team.
Yeah. I spent about 5 years with the Chinese national team and the Olympic team. I helped set the whole program up, getting coaches or doing the ISO, which is the International Skateboarding Open, or the Olympic qualifying events. So about 5 years, and we accomplished quite a bit. So from setting everything up to where it is now.
And before that, Danny was DC China team manager.
Yeah, DC China team manager. So we did APAC tours. Directly after would be Fizz, when I worked for Fizz, which is the European and the BMX.
Fizz. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But before that, DC. So we did a couple APAC tours. That was cool.
Okay. Before DC, you was one of the founder of Fly Streetwear.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Fly Streetwear founder, also Gift Skateboards. Worked with Jeff Hein on that. Yeah, for many, many years. Met most of the skaters in China.
And before that, you was a California skater.
Yeah. So growing up in San Diego, started skating around the age of 12. So and I got a pretty good opportunity, or fortunate, I guess, because I had family in Shanghai. Mm-hmm. So between the ages of 14 and 18, during the summers, I would actually fly back to Shanghai. So I was able to see China skateboarding progress in that time, and not a lot of foreigners or media was out here at that time. A lot of pros or the Western side of it, couldn't see. The outside world didn't really see China skateboarding. Mm-hmm. And also, in the other sense, I was able to bring a lot of outside media into China, in the sense of like Thrasher and Transworld and 401 videos and all of that. So at the time, there was not a lot of, there actually wasn't any distributors. So, even the VHS formats, were different. So a lot of things were just literally brought back in suitcases, and it would get passed around. So the first tier cities would get it, the newest magazines, and the videos were the newest to them, but it would be already a year later.
Yeah, it's kind of like how to say missionary. Yeah, like a skateboarding missionary.
Skateboarding missionary, I like that.
Okay, as you guys heard, Danny born in China, but grew up in California.
Yeah, so
skating there.
Yeah,
brought skateboarding culture to China, 1990s, right? Yeah, founded Fly Streetwear with Jeff, and he was always in the industry, and he knows both sides of the world, the US and China, very well. Yeah, that's why Danny is here. He's gonna tell you what's going on in China in English in the future.
Yeah, that's kind of the inspiration for this 5 More Minutes podcast, actually. because I got to get a view of, China's skateboarding scene at the time but most of the world didn't. And I think that's kind of where the stage is at right now. All eyes are on maybe Europe or Brazil or America. China has a really vibrant scene with a lot of good skaters, and there's also a lot of misconception with the China skateboarding in China. I think if we can be that window, now, even though there's Instagram or whatever, but still a lot of things are cut off, and a lot of a lot of people don't know what's going on here, and it's actually very interesting. It's a big market, a very special market,
totally,
and the skaters are very special. So I think we'll cover all that.
Awesome. Okay, it's my turn. This is Andrew Guan. My Chinese name is Guan Mu. Yeah, and I was born in Qingdao City. As you know, the Qingdao beer, right? That's where it is beer. From. Yeah, the
delicious
beer. I started skating when I was in Qingdao, and then I moved to Beijing, then Shenzhen, And I started my website, the Kicker Club, since 2001. This year is 22 years already.
Yeah, wow. I have a sticker from 2001.
Holy. Yeah. And I started my website when I was in college. And after that, my first job is a programmer in Beijing, but I did it for just 1 year. Then there was an OG skater, Sun Hu, in Beijing, and he said he's going to start a skate park in Beijing. That's 2002. And I quit my job 2003, started working for his skate park named the Yizhong Skate Park. And then I moved to Shenzhen, started Switch distribution. Do you remember Safari skateboards, Switch wheels? Yeah,
I do remember Safari.
All those kind of stuff. And then 2008, moved back to Beijing, started working for Apple. At that time, Apple Retail came to China, opened their first retail store in Beijing. But I still every day update my website. And 2011, the 10th year of my website, I quit Apple job and the full-time working on my website as a media, until now.
I think if I remember correctly, I think you kind of missed a milestone in 2005 when Danny Wei jumped the Great Wall. And that's what I was referring to earlier. I think we met then.
Yeah.
But you were the one that helped negotiate that deal.
Yeah, that's was amazing. The first guy to brought Danny to the Great Wall. Because at that time I was still working for Sun Hu at the Yizhong Skate Park. We have a ski shop there. Yeah, I used to be a ski shop owner also. And one day I got an email said, hey, Danny Wei has a skateboarding tutorial video wanna release in China. Do you interested with it? I was, let's talk about it. And then set up a meeting, talk with the guy's company named the Global Media or something, whatever. And then during the meeting, they tell me, okay, the true story is Danny gonna come to jump the Great Wall or something. Wow, that's a big news. And then later I met with Danny, brought him to the, what is the name of the gate he jumped? I forget.
So was it Badalin?
No.
That's too touristy. That's the main one.
No. Okay. Anyway, I brought him to there to check the spot, and also working for them to set up press conferences in the Hard Rock Coffee in the Great Wall Hotel in Beijing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I remember that. I was actually on site at that, and it was pretty wild. We were walking. We had VIP passes, so we were able to walk all access. And I was actually walking, just touring around, walked up to the ramp. It was crazy. It was like if it was a slide, I wouldn't even go down it on my butt. It's super steep. And then halfway down, quarter way down, there's no more guardrails. And when the wind came by, it would just shake. But they had this alarm bell, almost like if somebody was going to drop a bomb, you duck and cover. So basically the alarm, when it went off, you had to stay where you were and you couldn't move.
Oh,
yeah. And so I was but this wasn't the day he jumped. It was one of the practice runs. So I was up on the side where he was flying over instead of, where the spectators were, or where my Mike Blakeback shot it from. So I was actually in that temple. when he jumped it, I was like, oh my God. He's like, he bailed the first time and he's in the air. You could see him waving his hands. It's almost like he's swimming in the air trying to get across. Insane. But yeah.
There is another reason that we can work with their team together, because at that time we organized the biggest skateboarding contest named the National Master. Do you remember? National Master start from 2003 and 2005. We put those two events together. Everyone watched the Danny V Jump the Great Wall video, but they didn't watch the video, the National Master China skateboarding contest, the next to the jumping spot. Yes,
it's kind of I want to. It's probably going to be hard to people watch Danny Way and they're like, oh yeah, this other contest. It's good. That's it's historical right there. But yeah, I want to say we met there, and so incredible journey, and that's one of the amazing things, because Kicker does such a good job. Your website does such a good job of releasing a lot of information and a lot of original content.
Thanks.
However, a lot of people can't read it, or they don't understand it when they hear it. So it's only a very limited people that can, understand it. So I think that gets in the way of people. It's not that they don't want to understand it, because the scene is just super incredible and super vibrant
in the past 20 years, what I'm doing is introducing skateboarding culture from the Western world to China. Now I want to do more like introducing China skateboarding to the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a huge potential, and a lot of people want to know it. They're curious what's going on here, and they never had, or maybe they didn't even know they were curious until they listened to this podcast.
Yeah, for example, another day I post Danny sending me a pair of new Vision shoe. I post on my Instagram story, and then a friend of mine from United States said, whoa, what's going on there? Because in their mind, innovation is another story. So something like this.
Exactly. The U.S. Vision's managed very differently than here. So in China, Vision is we're doing very core skaters. We're sponsoring the core scene, and really growing the community. So instead of just being pure commercial, so we're really just doing it the old school way, or the traditional way, and trying to make it happen. So build that feel, that authentic, the roots.
Okay. Now you guys know who we are, and in the future, what we gonna talk about?
I really want to talk about the skateboarding scene in China, but not only that, the industry is super important. China is such a huge market, right? So not just the commercial value in it, but what's going on here. There's a lot of misconceptions, so we'll try and clear some of that up, with the national team. Even when I went out, even the people that see it firsthand, they don't understand it. There's a lot of people in China that don't understand it. But that's okay. We'll get into all that, and hopefully, people can see it for how it is. It's actually a really legitimate skateboarding program.
A lot of things we can cover, like what is the skateboarding contest looks like in China, right? Like as a skateboarding booming in China these years, what is the skate park design, the building industry? What about a skateboarding school business here, right? It's a totally different story about the U.S.
It is. It's so different, and I think that's the kind of the focus. And we can kind of highlight that and show the rest of the world how China's doing it.
Also, something like Vans, Nike, Adidas, Vision's business in China, right? And what is their way to promote skateboarding in China compared with back to the States?
China's a very special market. You not only have foreign brands that want to be a relevant part of the skateboarding culture here, you also have domestic Chinese brands. Probably our listeners haven't ever heard before. Maybe Li Ning, Anta.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So how what's their approach? How will they?
And Eric Hellington now is riding Li Ning skate shoes. We can talk about that in the future
for sure. For sure.
Also, something like Santa Cruz Independent, their business growing so fucking crazy, right?
It's growing
what they did right, or some other brand what they did wrong, something like that.
For sure. You would think that without overanalyzing anything, but you would, a brand that really hasn't had much presence, in China, and then at least that history, people don't know about it here. Just like Vision's history, people don't know about that, the 80s and how big it was. And how much influence skateboarding and skaters, but they still like the brand. So like you said, why would they like the brand, or how do they know it, and how we're pushing it?
Cool. So, what are we gonna talk next episode?
Well, I think the thing on everybody's mind is probably China Olympic
national team.
That's the one. I see it all the time. Zoe Zheng Wenhui, aka Zoe, she's kind of the face for skateboarding. The Guiling or the Yao Ming.
Oh yeah,
essentially, and she's definitely zero experience before we found her. So I think that's something that people are interested in, because that's kind of the window that people see, and they're like, oh. Every street league announcer, every time she goes to contest, like, 3 years ago she was doing kung fu.
Oh yeah,
she didn't even know what a skateboard was.
Do they live together? Sleep together, eat together, wake up every morning, fix a clock, running.
There are definitely some things that we would find peculiar, but very normal. Here, and how the sports training, skateboarding training goes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
It's not like we had cameras there, all the time, but there was definitely some routines. Without getting too much into it, there's a lot of discipline. There's all sorts of traditional sports training stuff, and a lot of it, in the skate industry, we're recognizing, skaters themselves are recognizing now that they're getting more healthy. So I think now people are a lot more understanding of it, especially since skateboarding is an Olympic sport, right? So when you explore that side of it, a lot of those routines start making more sense.
Yeah. Okay, I have to stop you because
your English is awesome, by the way.
We're gonna put all those content in next episode. Okay, another question: how often will we update this podcast?
That depends on the listeners. If people are listening, let's churn them out. I would love to, if people are interested in the topics and what we're doing, what we're talking about, I would love to update regularly. And
let's see. We will try every 2 weeks. Okay, we will try. Yeah,
sounds good.
In the end, if you want to listen more content as we talked about, just search 5 more minutes. 5 more MINS on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you use. So far, you can follow Keeper Cup on Instagram. Yeah, we will update on that.
Sounds good.
5 more minutes? Let's talk 5 more minutes.
If we do 5 more minutes, it's going to be another hour.
All right. Thanks for listening. This is Andrew.
This is Danny.
We are talking about Chinese skateboarding in English.
5 more minutes. 5分钟.
Peace.